Hey guys, it's Jovi and welcome back to my channel. Welcome back. How are you all doing today? Please don't forget to like this video on your way in. Please subscribe. Follow me on my other social media platforms. I'm Jovi Beauty. I'm Jovi Beauty on all platforms. Please follow. Please subscribe. Shit, I got something caught in my throat. So today I want to talk to y'all. I was up all freaking night. Okay. I was up all night watching Bridgerton for the first time. I started on this Charlotte episode and I'm probably going to go back and watch the other ones because I kind of enjoyed it. So today on the stream, I just want to talk about the episode, review it a little bit, a little something. And review it a little something. And yeah. So before we begin, please don't forget to like this video. Like it now because you're going to forget to like it later, okay? Subscribe to my YouTube channel if you are not already subscribed. I'm Jovi Beauty. I'm Jovi Beauty on all platforms. So please follow, please subscribe on all platforms. I thoroughly appreciate it. And don't forget always, support is key. Okay, so I'm going to let this essence soak into my skin. I'm going to drop this intro and we're going to go ahead and get on with the rest of today's show. Okay, first of all, I would like to say thanks to TD because literally I don't even be checking Venmo like that. And I was here setting up this video and I noticed that TD sent a donation yesterday. So thank you, TD, for the support. Okay. All right. I wanted to make sure and say that. Okay, before we get too deep into the Bridgerton situation or me just jumping into it, okay, we can do a live review and y'all could come up or whatever. I want to talk about a little bit, 5 minutes, about the skincare products we tried the other day. They were called Hey Buddy. They were cool. I told y'all during the time I thought they were, the wash was cool. You know, I just thought it should have been more moisturizing. Now, I did try to use the wash a second day, the day after we did our last show. And I felt, okay, they ain't paying me, so I'm going to be real with y'all. I don't know if it was the products or normally, you know, when you change in skincare products, that sometimes your skin can fluster a little bit. Like, you know, I might get a little pimple here, a little pimple there if I'm changing my products. It's not a big deal. But I felt this weekend I still there, like this bump that just popped up over here. I don't know why. And then I had something that popped up right by my ear, which is weird. And it felt hard and it felt like, I don't know what it was supposed to be. It's still there, right? So I kind of stopped using the product. I'm not going to say this is my full-on review because I only used it twice. And it might have been something else, but we all know that I am very consistent with the products that I use. I don't really change up my products. The only other new item that I did add to my routine has been this toner, right? Because I normally use Fresh or whatever, but I decided to try this toner because it's highly rated. So if my skin continues to act a mess while I'm using this, then I'll stop using this and go back to that with another toner and see what happens. Listen, this is a trial and error. Okay, look. All right, so let's get on these Bridgerton vibes. Okay. She said, I love Queen Charlotte. I'm so glad you were doing a review. I'm a huge fan of Bridgerton as well, and all of the last season was okay. Listen, I'm gonna be real honest with y'all and tell y'all I have not watched Bridgerton ever. Um, but I decided to watch it because people were talking about it. I saw a lot of reviews on it, um, and it's kind of like historical fact fiction, right? So I wanted to see a little bit of it. I am a history buff. When they started talking about Queen Charlotte, and I was like, oh, let me go see what's happening. Let me go see what's happening, right? So I did. So I think I started watching it at like 11 last night. I literally didn't go to sleep till like 4 this morning. Okay. I literally didn't go to sleep till like 4 this morning. Like, no. Yeah, it was like 4:30 this morning. So I finished it in one freaking sitting. Okay. I have up the list of episodes so I could remember. And again, I know that other people, and I kind of also wanted to watch it this way to see if I would enjoy it not seeing the first 2 episodes, right? I do think I kind of have an idea what the first episode was about. Um, just off of, commercials and seeing other people post stuff about it, right? So here we go. So we start off with Charlotte in her home in Germany, right? Eavesdropping on her brother, basically betrothing her to the English monarch. Now this is and you know what's so crazy about it? Even from like when her brother was, she talking to her brother, and like I couldn't imagine my stupid ass brother, having that much control over my life. Like you literally, and that's what another thing I really noticed about this show, and it's like really focused on how much women did not have. Like seriously, how much we did not have, and why things are the way it is now, because we're able to actually have things and do things. She had no choice in who she married. Yes, they eventually, and we're gonna get to that. They fell in love and all this stuff. But look at her friend, the black girl with the African girl with the African husband. He was kind of we'll get to him. Anyway, let me let that soak in for a minute. Hold up. Hold up. I have something too. I feel like I put the shit in my eye. Hold on. All right, here we go. You know what I thought? I'm gonna be real with you. Okay, so we'll get to. She came. She's asking. So as soon as she reached, she getting wed, right? Because I guess they didn't want time for her to be able to find out about what's wrong with him. And also I think they wanted someone from so far away, so they wouldn't have connections, right? So they would really, that's what his mother, my opinion, was looking for. So Charlotte wouldn't have, and that's so scary. Someone take you to a completely new place. And even like the mother said, when her brother came back to visit, she was like, oh, you're so lucky that your family came. I stopped basically saying I didn't see my family after I became queen because they didn't come to visit her. They just left her there, and she just had to deal with it. And again, we find out a lot that happened to her while she was there, why she behaves the way she is, and why I think the son was crazy. But that we'll get to there. So I think that already right there sparked something. And Charlotte was smart enough to recognize like something is up. Why would they want me from all over here? I'm not at court. It's a million girls in court who he could marry. Why me? Plus, I love the underline of, because these things don't happen to people like us. They didn't say black, or they didn't call out that it was a racial issue through most of the show. But I'm wondering how this racial issue plays out in season 1 and season 2, which is probably gonna make me go back and watch it, because they're talking about this experiment, to intertwine the races. And I want to know how it played out, because I know part 1 and part 2, correct me if I'm wrong, is about like the future when she's older or whatever, when the queen is older. So I would really like to know how that played out. But that's for right now, that's neither here nor there. So she know something's up, because why would you bring why are you bringing a black girl from Germany? Back then they didn't say mixed, she's a black girl from Germany. Oh shit. Okay. Why would you bring a black girl from Germany to marry the Prince of England when there's a million beautiful white women in the court, at court, right? Oh hell. Did I really just I really did. I really just did this. I broke the squeezy part. I broke the squeezy part off my bottle. Wait, hold on. Let me see if I can fix it. Give me 1 second. So now I could do 2 things at once. So I don't know if I can fix it. It's all right. I got numerous squeezy parts. Pull up. One second. I'm trying to find. I have these things everywhere, and today I'm looking for it and I can't find them. I literally have these damn things every freaking where. But today, no mas. All right, whatever. I'll deal with that. I'll deal with this later. Let me just try to use it the ghetto way, I guess. This is so ghetto. Okay. I'll deal with it later. So, it's a little stuffer. It broke. Anyway. Okay. What was I saying? Okay, so she knew it was a farce, right? But she get there, she's trying to do what she got to do because she understands she ain't got no choice. Because again, shit, y'all think we in bad positions a lot of the times now. We're in a very good position as women right now. In history, not so much. So she ain't have no choice. Her brothers sold her to these people for whatever. And now she's here. So, she's asking about him. Nobody's saying nothing. Again, no one's saying nothing. So she doesn't know any of the gossip. Like anybody who is probably at the time in England, who's in high society, probably know a little bit of the gossip because the maids and shit be gossiping, right? So they probably know a little bit about the gossip. She tried to jump over the wall. He like, hey, because he trying to run his damn self because he don't really want to get married because he understand he crazy. You know what I think his problem is? Okay, so I'm going to be, we just talking, right? So I'm going to tell you what I think the crazy Prince King's problem is or stems from. I'm not going to say that of course he was crazy. But where I think a lot of it stems from, 2 things primarily. The pressure of being king, of having all that control, all that pressure can drive people freaking crazy, right? It can drive them crazy, especially when you have them on everything they do, right? They don't even get an opportunity to be calm and kids for a little while. Remember the Harry and Charles, and no, what the fuck? Harry and what's the brother name? I don't even know the brother name. William, the one that's going to be king. Remember, they at least attempted to have some sort of normality, right? Maybe they've learned the monarchy over the years, even though they still in lock and chains over there. They learned a little bit to give them a little bit of freedom, right? So there aren't like, so the pressure of it isn't crushing them since they were like 5, right? Documentaries and whatever, saying that William, because William, they already knew William was going to be king. He was going through a lot, especially when he was younger, because like the gravity of that sort of thing, like that's a big freaking deal. So I can only imagine, especially back then, he had America to worry about, fat fiction. He had a lot of things to be worrying about in his mind, and he just couldn't deal with all the stress. Plus, if you peep game, when his mom was talking to Lady Danbury, Lady Dan, the black lady, Lady Danbury, when the mom was talking to her, and she started breaking down, because she trying to pull it together. We gonna talk about her in a second. She trying to pull it together for her husband, her family, and all black royal and all black people with shit in Europe. Yo, she was stressed out. I would have been stressed out too. It was a lot of pressure, but apparently she did it. Okay. But when she was having a conversation with the queen, the princess at the time, because I guess she reverted back to the princess vibes. Half of the fucking show, I kept thinking, does Charlotte not realize that she is queen now? She could tell that woman to get the hell out of her house. Does she not realize her husband is just, he over there, he ain't got the mental capacity, and even when he does, he gonna side with you, and his mom is getting on your last nerve. And all you really got to do is tell her, go ahead with herself. You writing a million letters. I would have showed up just like she showed up. I'd have showed up months beforehand. Okay. And I'd have told everybody, off with your head if you don't fucking play with me. If you think you're going to play with me. Anyway, talk about he's the king, she's the queen. Okay. Don't get it fucked up. But okay. What was I saying? His mother, when his mother was talking to Lady Danbury, she said something along the lines of, not something along the lines, she basically said it outright. When her husband died, her father-in-law was still king, right? He beat their ass. I don't know what he did to her. He did more than beat her. Okay, that's basically the kind of vibes I was getting from her when she was saying, she was like, she used to beat her and she used to beat George, right? He used to beat the crap out of George. So a part of me, even when the doctor was burning him with coal, with hot iron rods and shit like that, to me it felt like, especially after I found out, before I thought, though, something happened to him, like, it's like people revert to shit like that when they're an adult, when some crazy shit happened to them a lot of the times when they're kids, right? So I was already thinking, like, what the hell? This is fixing your abuse and smack the shit out of you and you got your mental together. I don't know too many, but if a lot of it was triggered from abuse, she said she was basically like marks and cover up your abuses and all of this shit. So like extreme abuse, right? He probably did some wild shit, some really wild shit to her and to the boy. And that's why, in my opinion, she is so protective over her son. She's gonna be protective over her son anyway, but why she's like that, to make sure he stays in power so nothing like that could ever happen to them again. And also because I'm making duck, that's what I keep sniffing a duck anyway. And also, because I think she kind of knows that night, child about to say, fuck it, I'm gonna say it, that the grandfather probably knocked the screw loose and that's why he crazy. You know what I'm saying? I would just say it. The grandfather probably knocked the screw loose and that's why they're going crazy. So that was that. What else was happening? So they get, if you ain't watched the show, don't even watch this with me, okay? I'm gonna drop the link for whoever want to come up and tell me about what they think, their favorite parts. Then they get married, right? It looked good. We not realizing, hindsight 2020, they gave us an episode from his perspective. He panicking the whole time. He love her and all this shit, but it looked crazy, right? So he gonna move over. He gonna move back to his, what do you call it? Planetarium? Is it a planetarium? I forgot what you call it. Observatory, right? He moves back over there. He's sleeping in there. He eating in there. He losing his shit up in there, right? She don't know why he don't want her, and it's so funny, but it's true. When you have everything, you can be selfish as shit, right? Because you're like Lady Bridgerton. No, that's not Lady Bridgerton. The other one I think is Lady Bridgerton. I need to really watch this damn show. But the black lady, I forget her name. Somebody, hold on. Like, she told her walls are too high, right? Because she can't see. She's so focused on why. But then I kept telling myself, all right, she's only 17, 18. At the time she's pregnant, she only 18, right? Because I'm like, she's so focused on why he don't want her that she don't even notice what the hell is going on. Like, you knew when you came here, you were like, why would they want me? Why would they? Because you recognize the fact that you're black and what the fuck. And now that you're in it, you know, you don't see none of this shit that's going on because you are so focused on why this man don't want you. Which I will say, in my also my humble opinion, is why her kids act the way they act. Because, you know, back then they had nannies and all that stuff, and you really didn't raise your kids like that. But like, what example were you showing them? Right? You were running, trying to make sure that he was okay. He was crazy as shit. He was not able to really be a dad, probably, to any of them. He was not really able to be a dad, right? To any of them. Not really. You are already, Charlotte comes off as selfish, and being the queen make you more selfish, I guess, I would assume. So you weren't really there, right? Or even giving them, they probably maybe a lot of them didn't want kids because they didn't want the possibility of their kids being like him, right? They didn't understand y'all love. And especially since she's like loved him so much, you would have thought that would have rubbed off on her children, to find, you know, her sons who are whores out in the street, and her daughters, you know, to find someone to love like that. But like her oldest son said to her, and it threw me, you know, like, you were never our mother, right? You were our queen. And I think that's where she fucked up. It's like, you could be queen, but you are still these kids' mothers. But again, it's hard to have two jobs and be a mama child, especially with 14 kids, child. She had 14 freaking kids, okay? So that's a struggle. And, you know, and then you have to manage, 15, because then you got this crazy husband to manage. And the goddamn country, right? It's a lot. It's a lot. Okay? It's a lot. It was real sad when her granddaughter died, like giving birth to like the future heir. So she had her shit and she just was like this to her son. That shit was crazy to me, because you want a hug from your husband so bad and you can't even hug your fucking son. That's what blew me a little bit. That's what blew me a little bit, you know, and it's just so, man. And like when her daughter was telling her she, you know, she's lost so many babies. Like, how the hell don't you know that? Like, how don't you when the fuck? All right, so let's go to Lady Danbury, because I liked her. All right, so we get introduced to her on underneath this her old ass husband, which, listen, she made us really think of something. How they be like, yeah, you know, you young, you know, you married an older dude. She didn't have no choice because, you know, they was from Sierra Leone. They got money. She had to marry him. She was betrothed to him since she was 3, right? Not cool. Because you got to think about it, especially like with a lot of these young girls now, right? It's the same shit that's playing out. You were with someone who was old as shit. He died. He don't have shit. She thought he had something, but he didn't have anything set up. Let's not even do that. Let's go even back to when the motherfucker was alive. Okay, when the motherfucker was alive, talk about passport bro. Talk about manosphere out this hole. Talk about this fool. Just talk about men in general. And he said it on the thing, which was, I don't know if it went past people's head. He wanted to be like the white man so bad. He wanted to go race with them so bad. Like he got a piece of it, got some punani and croaked. It was over. He followed his dream. I saw we got a Cash App. Thank you so much. Let me see who sent the Cash App. Thank you, Anonymous. Anonymous sent us Anonymous sent us a Cash App. Thank you so much, sis. She said, hey, Joe, going to catch the playback. Have a good show. Thank you so much. Thank you so much to everybody who donates to the channel. It is really appreciated. Okay. So thank you all so much. So he was okay. So the whole time it's wild because that's how women are, right? Black women. It was so purposeful. If you have read, if Shonda has been on anyone's internet lately and see the dynamics of how shit is so blatant, like she used that as reference to even more to like stick it home that like we literally all we got. Like this shit crazy. If her husband could have dropped her and married a white woman, even if that white bitch was his age and it would have got him into the fox hunting club, he would have did that. That girl, oh God, he bouncing on her. Oh my God. She got a scrub every time he touch her. It's a whole thing. She disgusted by him. A lot of people were living that. They talking about why we don't want to live like we lived in the past. Women hated you. In the past, women hated these men. They had no choice. They were drunk. That's why so much women back in the days used to be alcoholics. That's where all the pill popping. That was the pill popping generation. You think this the pill popping generation? That was the pill popping generation. Okay. I'm so glad we out of that shit. So we're worried. So she go ahead and he get labeled a duke because I mean a lady and lord, right? Boom. Or name alone. He don't do shit. She go to the queen because she the black one, right? She the black lady in waiting. And she goes to the queen, call her after, and ask her for something to keep, things smooth. And she's like, well, most lords and ladies get a castle. They get a castle. That's where the castles come from. If you know anything about history, they get a castle, they get a land. They be like Lord of Brooklyn and they own Brooklyn. You know what I'm saying? That's how that shit go. So she had to give them land, some money, some whatever. Then the husband, unbeknownst to her and the rest of us, even though he should be getting in money, now he's spending a whole bunch of extra money trying to be like these white people. Just killed out every bit of fucking diamond mine savings he had, because that's what I assumed he had. Killed out every bit of diamond mine savings he had, and hold on. Thank you so much, DC. Thank you for the donation. Again, thank you for everyone who donates, Cash App, Super Chats, Venmo, all that good stuff. Appreciate y'all all so much. She gets, because the princess, who's the mother now at this point, needs information because she can't go over there because she knows she ain't got no control. Charlotte at this point still don't realize she run this shit. She don't know it yet, right? You gotta grow in your womanhood, right? So she agrees. They get the money. She throws a party. She asks Charlotte to make sure, because that's when she really, because she here watching him from the window, after they start effing or whatever. She just on it, listen, I get it. We've all had our first, especially if you think he cute, right? He ain't so old. He ain't no old nasty man like Lady Danbury had to deal with. He was attractive. They had a good vibe. She was like, "Oh, I want to tap this. Let's have a baby. Let's have 15, right?" That's what the fuck she said. Let's just keep having them until my coochie says no more, right? I guess. So shout out to her for having 15 kids back then and living through it, because especially that first baby was breached. That could have took her out. I ain't gonna hold you. That could have took her out. These goddamn doctors is trash. And I feel like the doctor only did that because she was black. I feel like the doctor only did. I feel that was also because he's talking about we do that with the cows and shit. So the husband could have probably unbreached the baby, right? But I feel like, again, maybe a Bridgerton has a lot of today's I'm cooking. Hold on. Has a lot of today's context in it. And this is my first time ever watching it, so I'm just realizing it, right? But like, you were literally gonna let her die, her and the baby. He was literally about to let her and the baby freaking die instead of just attempting to unbreach the baby for the Queen of fucking England, right? If that ain't cause you black and black people don't get, they can deal with the pain. If that ain't I don't know what is, right? So okay. What else? Okay, so then all of Lady Danbury, her husband died while he hitting it from the back. That was so funny. I knew he was dead. He just stopped. I knew he was dead. He dropped over, killed, dead. She excited, but then she forgot that not only is she a woman, but she's a black woman. Right? Not only is she a woman, she's a black woman. So now even the title that she has that should have kept her secure, right, ain't gonna keep her secure. Because they don't know if they want to pass it on to the black people's children, right? Because this is just an experiment. We don't know if it's going to go through. We don't know. You know what they talk about England and their low down, low key racism? This whole episode, this whole season was a perfect example, in my opinion. Again, I ain't see one or two of that underlying racial shit. Like, they didn't say it. Like when I guess he was the prime minister at the time, was talking to Princess whatever, the king's mom, and they kept talking about the issues and, because I didn't know she had that, and she like telling, even when she was getting the portrait painted, and she was like, yes, paint her lighter. And in my opinion, that was a reference towards the light complexion of the actual King Charlotte in a lot of these paintings. And a lot of black people believe that King Charlotte was black and was more, aka she was black, okay? Even when they wanted to talk about, more is Arab and black, it was black, okay? Because they don't want to acknowledge that it's a real deep down, we already know a lot of people are, right? And they keep saying, oh, well, she's so light. You never seen light-skinned black people before. Let me tell you one thing black people could do. I, as a black person, could look at you, and even if you are one of them, I want to be white passing 2 generations in, I could still tell you got black in you, just like a lot of us. I seen this video of this girl. She does YouTube videos, and she was talking about, she does videos on her grandmother, who basically, what do you call that? Faking white. They from Louisiana, and they was light bright anyway. So the grandmother went up to Boston area. It's a lot of them, and it does not go over my head that a lot of women or men who were hiding their black went up that way, and now they are and their kids are superior fucking racists. Okay, a lot of these racists out here got a little more than a drop of black people in them, right? It's the self-hate on overload, in my opinion. But nonetheless, she was like posting even her, when she was like on the thing, she's considered white. But I'm looking at her and I'm like, mind you, she's like 75% white, right? 80% white. But I'm looking at her and I recognize that she got black in her. Her grandmother, when they talk about, oh yeah, she moved up here, like, yeah, okay, she was passing. That's the word, that's what I was looking for. She was passing. But she was only passing the white people who are ignorant of shit, because they're ignorant from a lot of the parts, a lot of times, with certain things like that. Or they just want to be ignorant. Let me say that. They just want to be ignorant, right? But any black person, I gotta check these beans. Any black person would recognize that that lady was fucking had black in her. She was at least half. Okay, let me go check these peas. Hold on. One second. Okay, I did leave it on low, so it would take longer to boil, but I just wanted to check it, stir the pot or whatever. So it's going good. It's going good. Okay, so here we go. So yeah, so I don't know. But anywho, let's get back to Bridgerton. So Lady Danbury, she's doing all of this. She's getting her husband, she's getting her family, her husband settled. She's doing all of this and all. She's like we, and he's just like he. It's not lost on me. And then King George with Charlotte, even with his crazy ass, she keeps saying your line, and he keeps saying no, our line. It's not lost on me. The desperation to want to be a part so bad, right? You just even gotta feel higher than somebody. So my wife, who is actually the only one who is the reason that you are even in this position to begin with. She's the one that got the queen's ear and the princess's ear. Like, what? So then, after old boy died, the husband, after he got it, he Kevin Samuel'd out this whole. So she's trying to figure out the money situation. That's when she realized, oh, these people playing with us. Okay. Then all the other black people come because now they need to ask her because she's the only lady on the court, right? In the court. And, like, what is going to happen? So now she's thinking about her security and the security of her kids, because again, it's always on us, right? Because did her husband prepare for his demise? No. Did her old ass, crusty ass husband, who always wanna every second, his little old ass wanna right? Every second. But he did not, but did he prepare for the stability of his wife and all them fucking kids he tried to put in her? No. Not one fucking bit. Not one freaking iota. So, at first, I didn't know what was going on with the Bridgertons. Now, these are the Bridgertons, right? The mom a racist asshole. The dad seemed cool. And the daughter seems nice, right? So, at first, I didn't realize what was happening again because I didn't see part one or part two. I think the daughter ends up being the star in part one, right? I'm not sure. We'll figure it out. I'll go rewatch part one and part two. Well, I'll go watch it. And see. So she's there. talking about the whole experience. The wife like, oh, no, you know, she being racist. The daughter's like, you know, this is cool. Then the husband, he goes out on a walk. He was going out on his walks or whatever, and you know, he seemed cool. Him and Lady Bridgerton got together. They ended up doing it once, and you know, he went back to his family. You know, he didn't want to keep it up, and he wanted to make sure, you know, it's already just struggle enough being black. Okay, it's hard enough being black and a lady out here. I don't want to have you out here looking like a homewrecker, especially with his wife. If she found out, it would have been a whole fucking thing, right? But it also led me to think, because again, you see in the future, the daughter realizing, you know, hindsight 2020, that, oh crap, she was in love with my dad, or, you know, and he was probably in love with her because he made her this hat that he only made for me. And she probably remembers when he made that hat, you know, because when he told her he made it for a friend or whatever is clever. I was sitting there thinking, and I was like, during the end of the season when she was, when Lady Danbury, I think she got black kids. So I'm assuming she's the girl from the first season. I'm not sure. But when she was, what was I going to say? When they were sitting down and they were talking about, and how she tried to befriend her, like Lady Danbury, how she tried to really, you know, befriend her and really get close to her. I was thinking when they were sitting there at tea and shit, I was like, if it was 200 years later, this lady would have been her stepmama. If it was 200 years later, he would have divorced the wife, and he'd have probably ended up marrying her. And this lady would have probably been your stepmother, and y'all still would have been in this damn position. That's what I was thinking. So, yeah. So for the most part, that's what happened. They had a bunch of kids. He was still crazy. He would be lucid every once in a while. He would be lucid every once in a blue. And like her, it was a gay couple in there. The guy who followed him and the guy who followed her, they were like in love. I don't know what happened to the guy who followed him. He probably old and died, but it was just kind of sad watching it, right? It was like so many secrets and so much, like, you hiding all of this shit. And it was just really crazy. Can you imagine what's happening in the royal family now, child? The other one just got coronated this weekend. Let's go to some of these comments. Let me go to some of these comments really fast. Okay, please don't forget to like this video, subscribe to my YouTube channel, follow me on my other social media platforms. I'm Jovi Beauty. I'm Jovi Beauty on all platforms. Please follow. What the fuck is this? Oh, please follow. Please subscribe. Okay. So let's get into these comments. I'm gonna drop the link in case anybody want to just come up and tell me what they thought of the episode. I thought it was a great. I didn't know what to expect. I ain't gonna hold you, but I was entertained. I did like the storyline. I did like the connection. I love history, so I'm very much into history. And yes, it wasn't perfect, but it was good enough for me. It was good enough for me. Hey, DC, how are you, DC? She says, smash the like button. She said, I binged Queen Charlotte this weekend too, and I'm thinking of reviewing it as well. Yeah, I watched it all last night. I think I started around 10 or something. I don't remember. I started late, and I was like, let me just binge this and see if it's good. And if it's good, I'm going to do a stream about it. Okay? Because I wanted my first stream back. I ain't want it to be on this Blueface bullshit or no Usher and them thugging it out. We'll get there, but shit. She said, Canva says she hasn't watched it, so she just listening. I live in Charlotte, the Queen City. Okay. She would listen. I enjoyed it. I'm not gonna lie, I enjoyed it. I like the idea. You know what? I like the idea of a black woman being allowed to be so fucking self-involved. I'm a little selfish. We all a little selfish. I say if you ain't a little selfish, you losing in this world, especially as a woman. You got to be, okay? We give too much. So we need to be more selfish. 1,000%. I really enjoyed the idea of this Black woman not giving a fuck. Of her doing what she want to do. Of her, living. If she decides she gonna stay with this crazy man, that's just what she gonna do. Does she love him? She love him. She got staff and shit. The whole non-connecting with her kids is one thing, but I guess it's a lot of stress to be in those positions, right? And a lot of women back then didn't take care of their kids. They had nannies and shit, and their kids hardly even knew them. So I ain't gonna put that much against her. She said she was fertile. Her job was to produce an heir, and she had 9 children. She did what she was supposed to do. She was an experiment. She said they called them Moors. Moors is Black people. She said the real Queen Charlotte was biracial and she was from Portugal, which the Moors had conquered. That's what I guess I always say I'm really good at history, and my mind kind of works. I tell my daughter all the time, to me, history is like a timeline. To me, in my mind, like Helen Keller was alive when Martin Luther King was executed. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's certain things that, like, if you look at things on a timeline throughout the world, right, you can see the fuckery. You can see the entire fuckery of it all. And back then, Moors ran that shit. So, but again, paint her lighter. I know a lot of skin Black girls. She might have been albino if you want to say her hair was blonde. Stop playing with us. Don't play with us. Don't play with us. That's why they hardly talk about her. So I'm very glad that they're doing this. Like, because look at how these fools are acting right now. And they got some Black babies over here in California. They don't want to accept them. Very Field says race is not a big thing. In the other season of Bridgerton, Queen Charlotte generation did seem to start the mixing. Okay. DC says she was darker than they did. Yes, that's what listen, and that's just the reality. They did that on white people. Again, if you know history, you know history. When they were making them portraits and shit like that, if you look, or if you read or whatever, they did that. They wanted to be as fair as possible. So even if they were olive complexion, whatever frick, they made them as fair as possible. Fair as in light as possible. Right? So you think they ain't gonna do that to the Black queen? Come on. Cut it out. Missy says Charlotte is Queen Victoria's granddaughter, but the Brits try to play like she was only a fraction of Black. Yeah, shout out to Shonda for real for highlighting this and for like bringing it into perspective, and like even calling out without calling out that European down low racist bullshit. Because they love to say us, not us. Yes, you. You. Yes, you. She said I meant Charlotte was Victoria's granddaughter. She said Netflix gave us royalty content last weekend because of the coronation. Yeah, they ain't slave. We know they not slave. We know what they doing. And we know why they did it. The Black queen now was over in California with the other Black babies. It's cool. Okay, it's cool because they still here. She said, "Oh." She said that's why they were concerned about Archie's color because they know they got black in them too. And white people, again, if it's not about white people, they're ignorant to a lot of things, right? We know that. Like everyone knows, they know that. They're ignorant to a lot of things, especially if it's not of them, right? So they were thinking and they were like, "Oh, she half black. We got black in us. Plus, we all inbred it or whatever, so our black it ain't going nowhere. It's still there." So maybe something happened. Lady Danbury. They said Lady Danbury was the most real. Thank you. I appreciate it. When is Mother's Day? I don't even know, child. I know today is my dad's birthday. I gotta call my dad. She said I told my son everyone underestimated her. Yes, they did. And she came up on that ass when she realized, like, she don't have to take this shit. Like, with the moment she realized she was, oh shit, I am queen. Oh, shit about to change. And everything did. Stand in your power. Stand in your power. Even Lady Danbury. And I was so happy she did not go and marry Charlotte's brother, because Jesus, she would have been right back in a effed up situation. And she could do better. She could do better. She did better. Again, I haven't watched season 1 or 2, but she didn't have to. You don't have to settle to, having to get married to this man to make sure that your kids are okay. She finagled that shit and worked it out for not only her, but the other black people in the court at the imaginary Buckingham house. She said when you look at the pictures of her, she's very light, but she got them black features 1,000%. I don't care how much they want to light her up. And even, let's not act like there ain't some really high yellow, full black people. I know a bunch of high yellow, full black people. High yellow. With that red hair, with that sandy color hair, all of that. Full black. So, really. Okay, yeah, I'm taking it down. She said, "Can we talk about their hats and dresses though? Exquisitely painful." Like Charlotte was saying, those things are a half-ass. They were beautiful, but you think trying to walk around in heels all day is problematic? Try walking around in a corset that literally, for a lot of people, broke their ribs. Like, when she wasn't lying when she was talking about whale bones and being punctured by the dress, and it's a whole thing being a woman and having to dress. We were talking about Chanel last week, but Chanel literally, okay, historically was the first woman to really be a designer. They didn't have women, even though they worked at the houses, the men owned them, the men designed, men gonna tell us what to wear, because we didn't have no say about shit. But shout out to Chanel for even coming. She was the first one to have fucking pants for women, just say, okay, we're not gonna do this. We don't have to be, because these men ain't. Why we got to do all this extra stuff and these dudes ain't? That's when I was talking about the change in Chanel last week, and how Lagerfeld brought it back to, he tried to, in my opinion, to these, tried to take away, in my opinion, all the history she had gained for women. like in independence and freedom of dress and freedom of clothes, you know, because Chanel was more tomboyish herself and dressed like that, and tried to turn it back into some overly sexual baby doll, I can't think, sort of Betty Boop kind of aesthetic. Okay. That's what the fuck I'm talking about. She said yes, watch season 1 and season 2. Oh, okay. So Lady Danbury's kids are the stars of part 1s and part 2s. Okay. Okay. Well, I'll find out. She said, I find it interesting that back in the day, racist North Carolinas living in cities named for Black women. Surprised they didn't try to rename Charlotte and Muckleburg. They didn't know. You gotta remember, a lot of them were cut off from Europe. It's not like social media, you know, unless they saw it, they didn't know. There was talk or whatever, but you know, they didn't know. A lot of them was too, you know, dense to know. She said her aunt lived in Charlotte. I do. I loved history. I listen, I really only watched it because I was like, all right, it's on the Black Queen. Let me watch this shit and see what happened. I enjoyed it. I have not watched the original Bridgerton. I've only watched Queen Charlotte. I have not watched season 1 or season 2. I'm probably going to, but I have not done it yet. Everybody's saying it's really good. Watch it. She said, did you hear they said her children were in love with actresses and to Megan? I did. Hey, Couture. Yeah, let's get these likes up. Please don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and follow me on my other social media platform. I'm Jovi Beauty on all platforms. Please like, please subscribe. She said her new listen, I have not plugged this chair in since I got it. DC talking about her new chair is amazing. I've never plugged my chair in. I just haven't. All my plugs are filled up. So I'm like, I'm not going to put an extension cord to reach this chair somewhere. But I'm glad you loving it, girl, because one of these days I'm going to plug this chair up. All right, guys. So I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to drop some videos today because I need to drop some videos. Okay, we need to get shit rolling. So I'm going to be dropping some videos today. I'm going to... if you want me to drop something, if you want me to talk about something, send me a message on the IG. I'm going to be talking about the Usher situation. It's a lot of stuff that's been happening over this last week that I haven't touched on. I'm probably going to be playing catch up. So we're going to be doing that. I'm gonna try to, I keep saying this, but I'm going to try to come live maybe like 2 more times today. I really need to catch up on some shit. All right. So I appreciate you all for coming. Okay. For being here. I will see y'all later. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. And again, I hope you live your life like it's golden, because there's no other way to live it. Less than an hour. Bang it.